It's the 12th of September, we're here once again at the Dalton Barracks. The reason? We're hoping today we're going to see a crowned 1999 British Masters champion. The reason I emphasise that is simply that we haven't had a British Masters champion for 1998 because due to the unfortunate weather at the Lincolnshire Poacher, then that was called off and they tried to rerun it. Graham Hurrey's club came forward and said they'd try and rerun it, but the rain once again took its toll. So, the title holders from 1997, Paul Hurrey and Gary Jackson in the sidecars, they are here defending the 1999 British Masters Championship, and there's a lot of contenders. I think looking at the programme line-up, there's going to be a few supporters here that will say, oh, it's going to be Kelvin, Tatum, it might be Joe Screen, it could be John Underwood, but really when you look down the whole list, there are many that you could choose from. The racing promises to be absolutely tip-top, and if I mention for a moment the sidecars, well, what a choice. They really are all on par at the moment. Every time I do interviews with these riders, you hear them say it could be any one of them. As you can see in the background, we've actually got the sidecars going out for practice. You're going to see some fantastic racing this afternoon, and I don't really know whether I can predict who it's going to be. John Halsey has won a lot of championships this year. Gary Jackson has been on song, and we've seen him getting faster and faster as the season goes on. One added little bonus is that what they've decided to do here at North Berks is put the starts on the finishing line. Now that sounds a little bit daft, but when you see the racing get started, you'll see exactly what I mean. We're going to see all the sidecars and solos starting on track, and it promises to make just that extra little bit exciting into the first bend. So a great day in prospect. You can see behind me that they've got practice underway. We'll try and get a word with one or two of the riders, but I really do stick by what I'm saying. We are looking to crown the 1999 champions, and I certainly at the moment couldn't offer you any predictions at all. Well, I know I'm going to keep saying that I really could talk to many riders in the pits this morning, but I've got to try and pick out some of those that perhaps I could push the point and say, Jeremy Doncaster, going to be a tough one, isn't it?
It will be today, yeah. I mean, all the top English boys are here, and it's just one time of the year where we all get together and have a big old tussle about it, and it's today.
But I think one thing that always sticks in my mind is this really is one of those titles that goes down in history, isn't it? It's like, you know, the British Championships, and that does add that little bit of spice to it, doesn't it?
That's right, yeah. I'm glad it's back on the one day again, and you know, it's on a superb venue. We had some great races here early on in the year, and I think we're going to have a great afternoon's racing.
Well, I think a great afternoon for sure. Now, one thing I've got to ask you is I'm seeing good results from abroad just recently.
That's right, yeah, we've finally got our act together. I think a lot to do with it is that reduce my racing schedule by quite a bit, and I'm now in full-time work outside of Speedway, so that gives us a bit of fresh air for weekend racing, and I think that's what's really made the difference.
Well, that's brilliant. I wish you the best of luck this afternoon, Jem. I know it's going to be a tough one.
Thanks very much.
Cheers. Well, perhaps a difficult thing to say to any one of these competitors, but Gary, you are the title holder. You're the man that everybody's looking at this afternoon.
Yeah, I think everyone is, yeah. I mean, we're going to try our best today, which is, I'm sure everyone else is going to do the same as well. I mean, everyone's gunning for us as we're, you know, trying to keep on top as well, but I think it's going to be open today anyway. The track is very smooth, and it's of a shape where there'll be fast racing, and there's a number that could do it today.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. It's what I've been saying all through the video, really, is that the sidecar class now has got so tight, hasn't it? I mean, titles have been going to one rider, then another rider. It really is going to be who's performing on the day, isn't it?
It is, and who gets the best setup of the bike, who's done the best preparation, and a bit of luck as well. You need that as well.
Well, yes, I think in any motor racing sport we rely on that little bit of luck. But Gary, as I say, not gone to anybody in 1998. It was 1997 that you were crowned, so looking forward to perhaps shouldn't forget really that was 2 years on the trot. This could be the third.
Well, I've got my fingers crossed, and we're hoping, and we've done a lot of preparation, and we're going to give it our best shot, and I mean, if it doesn't work then it doesn't work, but you know, it won't be for a lack of trying.
That's brilliant, Gary. Thanks very much for taking the time to speak to us.
Thank you very much.
Well, I know, as I keep saying, I really could be talking to all the competitors here this afternoon, but I had to have a quick word with one of the sidecar competitors, Ivor Matthews. Ivor, you been out for practice? What does it look like?
Yeah, just still out of breath. Track's lovely. It's pretty smooth. Top end's really hard, and it's just starting, the top's coming off this end, so I think it looks like it might be two different corners, but it's a nice shape, it's riding nice.
Well, that's good to hear, because obviously when I was watching practice it does look as if it's going to be very, very quick this afternoon. But looking at it as a title, being on one day, a lot of pressure, isn't there?
Yeah, well, literally one slip and that can be it, whereas at least on 2 rounds or possibly more you can afford to drop a race. But in all honesty, if you're going to win it today, you can't afford to drop a single race, and really any more than a couple of seconds and I think you're going to have to start looking at everybody else and say, well, are they going to drop the same? So yeah, it's as tough as they come, I think.
Certainly as tough as they come. And Simon, I've got to bring you in, because I think looking around the pits and looking through the programme, it's very, very difficult to predict who's going to do any winning this afternoon, isn't it? Now, ignoring yourselves, I know obviously you want to win it, but where do you think the competition is going to come from?
Well, definitely get John and Jason. Can't count Rob out neither. And Jacko, he's going well. Last couple of meetings, as I say, it could be a handful of riders.
Certainly could, but from what you've said, obviously the track sounds as if all the work they've put in has done some good. Ivor, wish you the very best of luck. I know it's going to be tough.
It is. Thank you.
Cheers.
Well, of course, there is one rider that I had to have a word with this morning now that I've seen practice underway. Kelvin, Tatum, what do you make of this circuit?
It was a little bit tricky, my first one. I didn't feel too comfortable, but the second practice I had, I felt we got it together a bit, and yeah, I think it's a good racetrack.
Now, the format of the competition has effectively changed a little bit, and one thing that we know everybody's talking about is whether we have it over Grand Prix systems or whether we have these one-day finals. You yourself, do you like the one-day final?
I think so. I think it's sort of more intensive, for the public. They can come on one day and they're going to see the champions today, which is, I think, a special sort of, gives the day a special sort of edge, and for riders as well as spectators. And I think generally, people relate to that very much.
Well, I think I tend to agree with you that it makes it very much a spectacle. The one thing that does intrigue me a little bit is that they've gone for this system of point scoring all the way through the day. It means that there is no room for error, is there? It's got to be top notch every single race.
Yes, you can't afford to have a slight mishap, and so that puts the pressure on for every heat. So you've got to be fully focused all day, and so it will be a long, hard day today. There's no question about that.
Well, a long, hard day, but obviously the track in superb condition. Really looking forward to some fantastic racing. Kelvin, I think from my point of view, I've got to say to you the very, very best of luck.
Thank you very much indeed.
Well, looking through the list of competitors this afternoon, there really are so many riders that I could talk to, and one I had to get a word from. Joe Screen, fantastic to see you here competing for the British Masters. It has been a title I know you've won before, but this is going to be tough today, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Kelvin's sort of going well, on the Europe scene, and I only do a few grass tracks now and again, so it's going to be hard. It's took me practice to get used to the bikes again. We're not riding them for a while, so I'm looking to go good. I enjoy riding down here, and the track's sort of similar to the Berks. Earlier in the season I rode and had a good day then, so I'm looking for a good day today.
Well, I think listening to what the crowd are saying, actually, of course, they remember you had a good day at the Barracks, but the track itself, you've been out for practice now, you say you're getting used to the bike, but it looks to be riding well. It's
good. I think it's going to cut up. It's a very, very slick surface, but there's a few holes appearing now and again, but it's a good place. Just got to get off the start and sort of lead from the front, which I find is very hard to do, but I'll be giving it my best shot.
Now, mentioning that start there, of course, the Barracks have decided to go for on-track starting. Do you think that will suit people like yourself who've got all the speedway experience?
Well, not really. It's a different bike, really, but the technique's sort of similar. You put your body differently on the bike, on a grass track bike more than a speedway bike. So, not really. It's just changing gear around the first corner, which a lot of grass track riders sort of are not used to.
Well, indeed, I appreciate you putting a different angle on that, but obviously one thing I've been saying to the competitors is that this point system means that every single race effectively a final. You can't afford to drop a point anywhere, can you?
No, that's the downside of it. A lot of riders sort of test through the heats to get into the semi, and when they're in the semi they sort of ride the best thing in the semi and then give it all for leather in the final. And today you've got to do every race, you've got to go sort of get everything sort of from like practice onwards.
Well, indeed, I agree with that. I think it does add up to the fact that we are going to see some fantastic racing this afternoon. Joe, thanks very much for sparing the time to speak to us. The very best of luck.
Thank you.
Well, of course, as I mentioned a moment ago, there are a lot of riders that I could and should speak to, but one I can't ignore is, of course, Paul Hurry. You hold the British Masters title. That was won in 1997, but since then the format has changed, hasn't it, Paul? And of course, we're now just a one-day final. Are you for or against the one-day final?
Probably for it, really, because one day it doesn't really interrupt with your dates too much. With trying to ride Speedway and different other things, it's better for like the people like me that do ride Speedway, but then for the others like the Grasstrack boys, it is a bit of a pain, really, because they do prefer to have a few meetings, and one day is a bit of a bind, really. But yeah, I'm in favour of it, and it's one of those days where you can't really have anything go wrong. You've always got to score points and to be there with a shout at the end of the day. That's what you've got to do.
Well, absolutely right. It's something that I've been talking with all the riders about, that you can't afford any errors today, can you? It's all the way through the heats, the semi-finals and the final. They're all valuable points. And looking at the track itself, I mean, do you think it will come down to the pure fact of who you've got in your heats?
Yeah, every race is going to be hard. It always is in this sort of competition. The track's holding up pretty well, actually. It's a nice shape as well, and hopefully it'll go in my favour.
Well, hopefully so, but the one thing I'm going to say to you, Paul, is that I've noticed that reading the Speedway results and watching what you're doing at the moment, you are doing a lot of meetings. Is that having effect on you and the machinery, or do you think that you are capable of doing both?
Yeah, you've got to be capable of doing both. When you look at the people like Jeremy McGrath, he's a top Supercross rider, he's riding like nearly every day of the week, and I think to be on top of your game, you've got to ride as much as you can. You see tennis players, they play tennis like every day for 3 hours, or trials rider, they ride their bikes for 3 hours. So yeah, you've got to be riding quite consistently to be at the top.
Well, I agree with that, and I know there's a lot of the crowd that have gone to the Speedway circuits to watch you ride the Speedway. I'm sure there's a lot here that will be rooting for you this afternoon to win this title. It's going to take some doing, but Paul Hurry, I think from what you've said to me, you are in tip-top condition. Wish you the very best of luck.
Thanks so much.
Well, when we look at the sidecar field, really I'd have a hard job to say that anybody is an out-and-out favourite, but having won a lot of big titles this year, John Halsey, there's going to be a lot of people out there rooting for you this afternoon. It's going to be a tough competition though, isn't it?
It's going to be very tough out there, yeah. The track's riding really good at the moment, and I think all 18 of us are going good, so like you said, to try and pick a winner at this stage is quite hard. But with this one round thing, we've got to pull a finger out and get going a little bit, so hopefully at the end of the day we'll be thereabouts.
Well, I think that the sport of 1000cc sidecar racing is a bit unique to the British crowd because they don't allow these big 1000cc's abroad, and of course we know that we do pull the crowds in to watch it. Now, you're at the top of the sport at the moment, as I've mentioned already. You've won a lot of titles, but the British Masters really is still the one to get, isn't it?
Well, yeah, we were winning it and we were leading it, and we still haven't had it yet, but if we do get it today, it'll be first time, but it could have been 3 times, so fingers crossed for today.
Well, of course, I know I keep pushing this point about the competition, and I've said to a lot of the solo riders here this afternoon that every single heat is important, isn't it? There's not a chance of dropping any points at all, is there?
No, not at all. You've got to treat every heat, every semi-final and the final as a final. You've got to go out there and try and win that and carry on from there and hope somebody else drops a point, because then it can take a little bit of pressure off.
Well, indeed, and of course one thing I've got to try and bring Jason in here, because Jason, when we look at sidecar racing, so many people think that if you get a good driver, just throw any old passenger on, but it's not true at all, is it? You'll be working hard this afternoon.
Oh, without doubt. I mean, the track's actually quite a good track, 4 passenger, and it's quite big turns, so the idea is to try and get in there and get the power on early to get the drive on coming out the turn, so there's going to be a fair bit of work on there today, that's for sure.
Well, a fair bit of work, but I think talking to everybody here this afternoon, we hope that the weather holds for us. We know the track is in superb condition. It's going to be some fantastic sidecar racing. Maybe we'll be talking to you later on in the day.
Very much hope so, Jim.
Cheers, Jim. Thank you.
I'm getting ahead of the inertia. I've got to slow down.
Number 26 is getting ready this afternoon. We're going to go through the program changes. Number 26 is Mark Giles. Number 11, and great to see this man still beating John Priest. Number 71 is Darren Pugh.
Numbing you down, you aren't you?
Number 110, this time see if we get it quicker every time I see him. Dave Rumsey. Well, plenty of experience in this next rider, of course it is the master himself, Trevor Banks.
Cheers, thank you.
Number 23,
Nice to see you, Wayne.
Number 95, Jason Handley. Number 22 is Toaster.
There's another one of those newcomers, isn't there? Oh, it's true.
Doncaster. Next to Jerry Doncaster, we've got Scott Nicholls.
Nice to see you.
On the very first time this season, we had a Conference Championship. I'm going to say it was one of our Road County players here now in the British Masters. All right! Number 22, another one of the youngsters who are looking on to better things is Brooks Bentley. Number 15, another one of the youngsters who are looking to say Bennett Rose. Number 2, Daniel Underwood. We're all a bit quiet again, hasn't it? Well, we've got a big deal for this one. This is number 21, Colin.
Cheers.
Number 8 is Hiscock. And what sort of support has this rider brought with him this afternoon? It is, of course, Steve Schofield.
Hello, Steve. Have a good day. Thanks.
Next to Steve, we've got number 7, Mark Walters.
See you here. Who's this chap? Another one of those strangers.
You may remember the winner of that event was number 17, Joe Green. As always, everyone gets in the way. Who's that next in? That's our reserve, number 111, Paul Cooper.
Just about it fits your port.
Number 74, Scott Number 77, John Underwood.
There's a chap who keeps ringing me up.
Now, big cheers for the man who's got the title at the moment. Will he retain it? It is, of course, number 86, Jorge!
Number 170
is Mark Taylor. Number 19, travelling the European circuits and going at the moment, Nicholls!
Hey!
Number 83 is Number 27, another one you won't have in the programme, but I'll give you all the programme changes when we get back to the booth. He's number 37, Alan Baxter. Number 41, Tom Jeffries. Picture for the Chester rider, Tony Atkin. And last for the first one, Toby. It is, of course, Ricky Scarborough.
Thank you. Thank you.
Number 1, Craig Cheatham and Clive Reynolds.
Good to see you, mate.
Great to see Clive back again. It's been confusing me over the last few weeks. He's had all sorts of different passengers on there. Right. Number 3. Have a history of doing well at these circuits. Number 3 is Alan and John Blewitt.
Hi, John. Yeah, one each, shall we?
Next to John Blewitt, we've got the very, very colourful Cadbury sponsor, Paul Johnson and Dave French.
Hi, Paul. What's up?
Yeah, all right, thank you.
Number 92, they'll be anxiously sitting in the pits waiting to see if they were going to ride this afternoon. Paul Whitelum and Mark Whitelum. Next to them, we've got number 184. They had to do it the hard way in terms of the qualifier. John Hiscock and Jason Gill. TD Prim from last year, number 12, Tim Bennett and Steve Harvey. Well, of course, we didn't have a British Masters champion in 1998, so there's another tradition for the Doncaster. If you think back to 1997, they won it then. They have to tell, take them away from the master protest. It is, of course, John Halsey and Jason Halsey. Number 62 is Peter and Tony Halsey.
Thank you very much.
Next to them, we've got number 25, a change of passenger of 4, from Max Colin, car passenger boat Colin.
have a good day.
Coming up from Helston Cornwall, we're coming to from Kelvin.
Foreign travel, is it right? Enjoy yourself today.
Well, next we have nobody classes in the stroke.
Cheers. Cheers, mate.
Alvin and 93, and I grew up from Cornwall.
One of those, thanks. Have a good day.
Yeah, net riding.
Number 17 is the first Dempsey of Barracks.
Oh, is this? Another stranger.
Thank you. Number 15, and one I'm sure is going to go well this afternoon. Stephen going Ivor Matthews and Underwood.
Should suit you here. Good, thank you.
Next to them, we'll do another bit on Thursday. Watching and closing the field at Handley.
Oh, is this fella?
He's down at the World Championship. On Edmonton Wilson. Number 74 is Duncan from Trevor.
Good to see you. Have a good day. Thank you.
Up in the loft.
You're right, mate. Cheers, mate. Cheers.
There you go. Give me much. That. Yep. So much. I'm sure you have a good day. Yeah. Say not me though. Well, I just. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Lovely. Have a nice day and enjoy yourself. That's right. I think we got there, eh?
Hang on for a very brief second. Dalton, of course, is the referee, so I understand you want to work.
First of all, I want to welcome you all here on behalf of the Barracks Club. I hope you all have a good day's racing, and I will apologise to you for publicly talking to you about the rules. But I do think it's very important that the public understands that everybody has been warned about the racing rules in the same way. Now, there isn't very much that I've got to say except that practice was perfect. Everybody that made any minor infringements were warned of them. The start line, as you can see, is a slightly different setup. The two outside areas will never be used during racing, so please don't try and get in them if you're on number 1 or on number 6. It's not there for you. International riders, there is no green light. The 3 starting marshals will have a sequence where the outside 2, when they're ready, they'll walk away, then finally the centre one will walk away, and then it's down to the starter. And the same for the sidecars, it works exactly the same way. I do have to say that under national rules, none of your wheels will go outside of the defined markings of the track. That's inside and outside, and that includes the sidecar wheel of a sidecar. That's exclusion if any wheels go over, unless of course it's in the interest of safety. But please don't come to me and tell me that the guy in front was going 20 mile an hour slower than you. That's not on. So it only leaves me to say that, is everybody happy? Does anybody have any questions at all about the setup for today?
Tim?
Everybody have a good day's racing, and let's have a really good day.
Can I have a mic?
He's going to run off the microphone then, doesn't he? So there we are. That's the first who's going to start.
He's going to let me enjoy the projects and a lot of exciting cars as well. So that's next weekend, 19th September. But we now look to the start of the 1999 British Masters as we see race 1 coming to the start line. And the grid positions, as you can see, denoted in the brackets in your programme. The 1999 British Masters, and it is Joe Screen that's made the break into that first turn. Trevor Banks has gone with him in second place, but at the moment it is Joe Screen that streaks away down the back straight. On the North France Bonanza in May. Joe Screen had a fantastic win then. He's told me already that he loves this circuit. Trevor Banks trying to hang on to him in second place. He's not letting him get away from him, and in third place we've got Simon Davey. So Simon Davey trying to get away from the rest of the crowd. What's come off that bottom turn. He's very much in control. Trevor Banks doing everything he can to stay with him. Jason Handley has moved up into 4th place with Steve Bishop in 5th at the moment. But as they start to get themselves spread out, still a scratch going on a little bit further down the field. Into the last lap he goes, and he comes fastest this time. Great start for Joe Screen at the moment. Trevor Banks still there in 2nd, Simon Davey 3rd. And as the rest of the field go by me, we watch down that back straight as Joe Screen really has the first victory, and that first checkered flag goes to Joe Screen. Trevor Banks gets 2nd, Jason Handley has sneaked through into 3rd place, and Simon Davey 4th. This afternoon goes to number 17, Joe Screen. In 2nd place, number 12 is Trevor Banks. In 3rd place, number 95, Jason Handley. In 4th place, number 33, Simon Davey. 5th place, number 34, Steve Bishop. 6th place, 74, Scott Wilson. 7th place, 23, Wayne Barrett. And 8th place, number 18, Ricky Scarborough. 127.29 was the winning time. 127.29, 17, 12, 95, 33, 34, 74, 23 and 18. 127.29. Giles, so he'll take grid 5. We see Paul Hurry for the very first time this afternoon. Phil Ambrose, John Priest, Scott Nicholls, Tommy Palmer, Daniel Winterton, and our clubman champion, Paul Fry. Palmer's made a very good start. Paul Fry on the inside has made a better one though. Paul Hurry trying to get round the outside of him as they come round that first bend, but it is Paul Hurry and Paul Fry together. But it is our reigning champion, Paul Hurry, that leads as they come up by me. Scott Nicholls is up in 2nd place, Paul Fry in 3rd. Great scrap between these three, and Scott Nicholls is not letting Paul Hurry get away. As they go down the back straight, Scott Nicholls looks to make a challenge, and Scott Nicholls with them as well. Off that bottom turn they come, and it is Scotty Nicholls that leads Paul Hurry in 2nd place. Tommy Farmer now a long way back in 4th place. But Paul Hurry is certainly lost. It is a terrific ride from Scott Nicholls. Paul Hurry still there in 2nd, Paul Fry in 3rd. I think you can now see what I was saying about the list of competitors this afternoon. We don't know where the challenges are going to come from. Comes towards the checkered flag. He's taken a very impressive win first time out this afternoon. Paul Hurry gets 2nd and Paul Fry in 3rd. number 66, Scott Nicholls. He takes race 2, followed home in second place by number 86, Paul Hurry. Third place, number 55, is Paul Fry. Fourth place, number 21, Tommy Palmer. Fifth place, number 2. Sixth place, number 50. Seventh place, number 11. And eighth place, number 26. The winning time, 124.75, 124.75, 66, 80 Bassett Cleaning Services. And we see for the first time, number 1, Kelvin Tatum. He takes gate 4. In gate 8, we've got Jeremy Doncaster. They're joined by Dave Romsey, Darren Pugh, Matt Reed, Phil Ashcroft, Mitch Godden, and Glen Phillips. As we get into that first turn, it's all a bit tight. Jeremy Doncaster has come out on top as it got very, very tight in that first turn. Look for Kelvin Tatum coming through. He goes round that bottom turn, he's going the long way round. But it's Jeremy Doncaster that in second place. Kelvin Tatum has now got in front of Matt Reed and he's chasing after Jeremy Doncaster as he goes round that top turn. Down the back straight they go. Head down, Kelvin Tatum. Matt Reed is still there in third place. It's a good ride from Matty Reed, but as we watch the front, Jeremy Doncaster desperately trying to hold off the challenge from Kelvin Tatum. Kelvin again looks for the outside, he takes a wider line. Jeremy Doncaster takes more of a speedway style on the inside, but at the moment can Jeremy Doncaster react? Can Kelvin Tatum hang on? He leads going into the last lap. Into the top turn they go. Again, watch for the different styles. Jeremy Doncaster holds a much tighter line. He loses power coming out of the bend though. He's down the back straight. He makes it. Well, he certainly had to work for that one, but he's got the result he wanted. Kelvin Tatum takes the win. Jeremy Doncaster in second. Matt Reed in third place. Mitch Godden in fourth. Phil Ashcroft in fifth. Dave Rumsey in sixth spot. For that one, but the winner of race 3 was indeed number 1, Kelvin Tatum, followed home in second place by number 6, Jeremy Doncaster. In third place, number 152, Matt Reed. Fourth place, number 19, Mitch Godden. Fifth place, number 83, Phil Ashcroft. Sixth place, number 110, Dave Rumsey. Seventh place, 42. Eighth place, 71. The winning time, 125.33. 125.33. Stevie Schofield. John Underwood perhaps could be a spoiler. We see Tony Atkin, Tony Stark, Mark Taylor, John Jeffries, Vince Kinchin and Mark Rogers. He's got a long way to go around that first turn, but he's going for it. Steve Schofield gets to the front as he cuts in the middle of the bend. The rest sort themselves out as they come out of that third turn. But it's Steve Schofield that's got away and past me for the first time. It is Steve Schofield, Tony Atkin, John Underwood and Vince Kinchin. Now, what can John Underwood do for that third place? We've seen him have some very good rides recently. We know he's a very, very quick rider. Drop that bottom turn again. Leading, head down. Would love to get his name back on the British Masters title. Not having won this title before, Steve Schofield has certainly been one of the greatest. One more lap to go and Tony Atkin pulls out on that bottom turn. It elevates John Underwood up to second place, Vince Kinchin in third. One more lap to go before Steve Schofield to record his first victory in these early rides. come round to the checker flag. It's a win for Steve Schofield. John Underwood gets second. Vince Kinchin in third. There's a delay while we wait for number 170 Mark Taylor to come across the line. And we hope that Tony Atkin is going to push his bike round for that checkered flag. He will be credited with last place. Now win for rider number 3, Steve Schofield. He gets a win first time out. Followed home in second place by number 77, that is John Underwood. In third place, number 8, Vince Kinchin. Fourth place, number 170, Mark Taylor. Fifth place, number 41, John Jeffries. Sixth place, number 7, Mark Rogers. Seventh place, number 22, Tony Stark. And the winner's time, 126.23. 126.23. So as we look to race 5, we see coming to the line the Masters title holder, Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh. They're joined by Tim Bennett, Mick Turrell, Richard Thomas, Rob Winterburn and Kenny Hammill. Well, the tapes go for the very first time, and as they go into that first turn, they quickly sort themselves out. Gary Jackson has made a very good start. Mick Turrell on the inside. Richard Thomas is up behind them. I think that's gone a long way round. He's in fourth, but he's now being caught by Rob Winterburn as Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh get themselves in front exactly where they want to be first time out. Mick Turrell is in second. Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley in third. Kenny Hammill and John Richards are in fourth place, so they've beaten off the challenge from Rob Winterburn. But Rob looking to get a win first time out. Remember, he does have his name on the title of British Masters, and there's problems for Richard Thomas. Richard Thomas pulls out in that top bend. He's hit problems. Kevin Woodley holds his hand in the air as they go down to that fifth bend. At Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh. Just the sort of start they'd want to get. Off that top turn they see the last lap flag. Mick Turrell and Tony Baisby still there in second. Kenny Hammill and John Richards still holding third. He's going to get the finishing position. But as they come towards the line, the checker flag is shown to Gary Jackson for the very first time this afternoon. He takes the first sidecar race. Mick Turrell and Tony Baisby take second. Kenny Hammill and John Richards in third. So, race 5, the first of the sidecars this afternoon. A win for outfit number 23, that's Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh. In second place, number 62 is Mick Turrell and Tony Baisby. In third place, number 11, Kenny Hammill and John Richards. In fourth place, number 148, Rob Winterburn and Chris Winterburn. In fifth place, number 12, Tim Bennett and Steve Hargreaves. In sixth place, number 60, Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. The winning time was 133.48, 133.48. The only crew that's had a win is Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh. They come to the line with Rob Bradley and Ann Holmes, Ivor Matthews and Simon Wall, Alan and John Blewitt, Sean Conway Baker and Shane Woodley. Number 1 is Craig Cheatham and Clive Reynolds. So 6 outfits go in every single race this afternoon. I've said it before, I don't mind saying it again, everyone seems to be like a final. Alan and John Blewitt trying to get a jump on the start. They get away this time cleanly though, as Ivor Matthews has made a good one. John Halsey, in fact, is back in the field, and Alan and John Blewitt have made the best of the starts. Ivor Matthews is up there with them. Rob Bradley is in third. Alan and John Blewitt have got their heads down. They know they're in front. Everybody else has got to do the work behind them. John Halsey tries to go around the outside of Rob Bradley. He's still battling for that third place, as Ivor Matthews is still pushing for that lead. Off that top bend, Ivor Matthews still looking for a way through. John Halsey and Jason Glennie still in that third place now as they start to close the gaps on the leaders. Now this could get interesting because as Ivor Matthews looks for a way round, now that he's got John Halsey in close contention, that's where the gaps start to open. You can see John Halsey knows it as well. Will Ivor Matthews go for the outside again? John Halsey's got through. John Halsey goes through into second place. He's now going to try and hold down. From John Halsey and Jason Glen, as they've gone wide on that final bend. It's not over yet as Ivor Matthews has come through in the second. John Halsey gets it, Ivor Matthews gets second. Alan and John Blewitt, after leading for so long from that start, they have to be content with third. What a superb sidecar race that turned out to be. So, race 6, I think you look at it, it's probably the most fantastic sidecar race we've seen for a long time. The eventual winner, he worked hard for it, number 13, John Halsey and Jason Glennie. In second place, number 15, in third place, outfit number 3, that's Alan and John Blewitt. In fourth place, number 87, Rob Bradley and Ann Holmes. In fifth place, number 1, Craig Cheatham and Clive Reynolds. And in sixth place, number 71, that's Sean Conway Baker and Shane Woodley. 1:34 exactly was the winning time. 1:34, 13, 15, 3, 87, 1 and 71. Race 7 in your programme as we see them all out for the very first time. John Hiscock and Jason Gill, Rob Wilson and Tony Miles, Duncan Tolhurst and Colin Hill, Colin Blackbourn and Carl Blythe. Number 17 is Dave Steer and Rob Barracks. Number 93, Andy Simons and Sean Yates. So John Hiscock on the outside, where we saw Alan and John Blewitt have such a good start in the last heat. Starter not happy with outfits touching the tapes. More people touching the tapes. Oh, they let them go, and as they get underway, problems to Colin Blackbourn, but the other 5 are together as they go into that first turn. Oh, Rob Wilson is up there in first place at the moment with his hands. But Andy Simons is not letting him get away. He stays with him as they come down past me for the first time. Andy Simons and Sean Yates putting the pressure on as they go into that bottom turn. They've got the inside line. They've got their nose in front now as they come around that bottom turn. Colin Blackbourn indeed, Duncan Tolhurst that has come in the inside from that third spot. Oh, I'm looking for a red flag, and indeed we've seen a red flag. The clerk of the course on the far side stopping the race As you can see, we've got an outfit on the race circuit. Now remember, it was a battle between Rob Wilson and Andy Simons. Oh, they've been held on the tapes. Starter not happy with some outfits touching the tapes. Again, this time the tapes go up, and as they get underway, Rob Wilson's made a good start. Colin Blackbourn has made a much better start this time from the inside. He's up in third place, and Andy Simons at the back of the field this time. Colin Blackbourn in third, John Hiscock on the outside. Those outfits come close together in that top turn. Rob Wilson's not aware of what's going on behind him, as indeed Colin Blackbourn has gone through on the inside of Duncan Tolhurst. No, he hasn't, as Duncan Tolhurst shuts the door as he goes into that pit lane. It is Rob Wilson and Tony Miles that are getting away. They've got the lead at the moment, and as they come down past me, that battle still rages for second place. Andy Simons tries the outside this time, looking to get up into fourth, but John Hiscock wants to keep hold of it. John Hiscock has gone in very quick in that bottom lane. He was having a battle for the lead. He's now battling for fourth place as Rob Wilson and Tony Miles go into the last lap. Duncan Tolhurst is still there in second. Colin Blackbourn still holding that third, but there's a terrific scrap going on for that fourth place. John Hiscock and this is the last of the first leg rides, and we now know who have been our three winners. As they come to the line, it's Rob Wilson and Tony Miles that take it. Duncan Tolhurst and Colin Hill get second. Colin Blackbourn and Carl Blythe take third. So, race 7 then, the third of the first leg rides. A win for outfit number 24, Rob Wilson and Tony Miles. In second place, number 74, that's Duncan Tolhurst and Colin Hill. In third place, number 25, Colin Blackbourn and Carl Blythe. In fourth place, number 184, John Hiscock and Jason Gill. In fifth place, number 93, Andy Simons and Sean Yates. The winning time, 1:33.16. 1:33.16 in the first leg. It was number 17, Joe Screen, that won the first heat. Number 66, Scott Nicholls, perhaps a surprise package. He had a win. Number 1, Kelvin Tatum, had to work hard for his win. And number 3, Steve Schofield. So we see one of those riders going for the second time in race 8. Number 3, Steve Schofield. He's joined by Trevor Banks, who had a second place. Made a good one from the inside. He gets into that first turn. Oh, they all start to sort themselves out, but it's Glen Phillips up in second place at the moment as they go down the lane straight. Down on his own as they get away and come down past me for the second time. Glen Phillips still there in second. Number 10, Tony Atkin, now moving his way through. He's in fourth place at the moment in the red leathers. They all slow down in that bottom turn. We've got fallen machinery on the bottom turn.
Sorry? Yeah, that's right.
Falling there were number 2, Daniel Winterden, and number 41, John Jeffries. The clerk of the course saying that number 2 was the cause of the stoppage, so he won't go in the restart, but number 41, John Jeffries will. It should be number 41, John Jeffries excluded. Number 2, Daniel Winterden allowed back in. good start. Steve Schofield from the middle, and much better this time is Tony Atkins. Now he's looking for second, but in third at the moment is Glen Phillips has gone again well round the outside. It does look as if Trevor Banks has made his way round the outside. He's up in second now. Glen Phillips tries to stay with him. Tony Atkin in fourth at the moment. Phil Ambrose in fifth. Oh, as all the battles are sorted out, they go down the back straight. The pressure on go for maximum points. Trevor Banks looks over his shoulder. He had a second first time out. Looking to do exactly the same this time. It's all getting a bit close for third, fourth and fifth. Tony Atkins is going to have to work if he wants to hang on to it. Phil Ambrose is really down the hillside. Phil Ambrose goes a long way round, and Glen Phillips just hangs on to it. Oh, I say just, as Tony Atkin has tried to come up the inside of him, and Tony just gets a wheel in front as they go into that top turn. So while Steve Schofield gets away, Trevor Banks still battling in second. There really is a good battle on that. Round the outside, he takes a much longer bottom turn. The win for Scully. In second place, Trevor Banks. Third is Tony Atkin. Fourth, Phil Ambrose. And fifth, Glen Phillips. A win for number 3, Steve Schofield. That's 2 rides and 2 wins for him. In second place, number 12, Trevor Banks. In third place, number 10, Tony Atkin. In fourth place, number 50, Phil Ambrose. Fifth place, number 42, Glen Phillips. Sixth place, number 71, Darren Pugh. And seventh place, number 2, Daniel Winterton. 127.05 is the winning time. 127.05. So we've seen Steve Schofield come out for his second ride and get his second win. Made a good start. But it is Jerm that gets in front as they go round that first turn. Oh, Scott Nicholls is the rider in second place at the moment. It up in that bottom turn. He has to sit there in second for the moment as Jeremy Doncaster pulls away. Jason Handley is the rider in third place at the moment, but all eyes, I'm sure, are on Scott Nicholls as he tries to find a way through. Remember this lead Jeremy Doncaster tries to stay with him. Oh, this was exactly what we saw in his first ride. Scott Nicholls had a tremendous ride then. He looks to be staying with Scully and keeping the pressure on. Goes for his second win. Through the last lap, Scott Nicholls chasing after his second win. Jeremy Doncaster still there in second. Jason Handley in third. Simon Davey in fourth place at the moment. Is he going to be the handsome Scott Nicholls? So race 9 then, a win for rider number 66, his second ride and his second win. Scott Nicholls. In second place, number 6, Jeremy Doncaster. In third, number 95, Jason Handley. In fourth, number 33, Simon Davey. In fifth, number 170, Mark Taylor. In sixth place, number 23, Wayne Barrett. Seventh place is number 7, Mark Rogers. And 26 is our reserve coming in, Mark Giles. That's number 26, and the winning time, 124.15. 124.15 to race 10. We in fact have no heat winners going in this one. Paul Hurley had a second place first time out. Paul Fry, number 55, had a third. And really you'd expect it to be between those two, or could Tommy Palmer, Phil Ashcroft, Scott Wilson, Steve Bishop, Ricky Scarborough or Tony Stark do anything about it. Well, Phil Ashcroft with problems at the moment, but look to be quickly sorted out. The rest of the riders are now indicated to come into line. Of the starts, it's Tommy Palmer that gets into that first turn. Paul Hurry has gone with him though, and Paul Hurry goes round the outside. Now this could be interesting because Paul Fry has been caught up in the traffic in that second place now as Paul Hurry starts to get away. Starts to stamp his authority on this one. Ricky Scarborough up in third, and Paul Fry has moved through into fourth. Going for third as he goes into that top bend. Working hard, but indeed he's cutting him down as he goes down that back straight. Goes after the gets himself up into second. Now Paul Hurry has got the lead, but can Paul Fry close him down? Oh, he's made a lot of work for himself after that mix-up in the first turn, but Paul Fry got himself up into second. Paul Hurry looking to make it a win and a second place. Paul Fry still there in second, Phil Ashcroft in third, Ricky Scarborough in fourth. And this will certainly please the Paul Fry fans. Race tennis program. They come to the line, it's Paul Hurry that gets it. Paul Fry in fact gets that second place. Phil Ashcroft in third and Ricky Scarborough in fourth. In your programme, and a win. His first this afternoon for number 86, Paul Hurry. In second place, number 55, Paul Fry. In third place, number 83, Phil Ashcroft. In fourth place, number 18, Ricky Scarborough. In fifth place, number 34, Steve Bishop. In sixth place, number 21, Tommy Palmer. And seventh place, number 22, Tony Stark. Eighth place, number 74, Scott Wilson. 124.95 was the winning time, 124.95. We've got number 1, Kelvin Tatum. He had a win first time out. Number 17, Joe Screen, also had a win first time out. Will it be a stake scrap between these two? Or can Matt Reed, Mitch Godden, Dave Rumsey, Vince Kinchin, John Underwood and John Priest get in amongst them? Could I ask if Pauline Misa can hear me? Pauline, can you make your way to the signing on tent, please? There are riders there that want to see you. It is Kelvin Tatum that's made the start, but Joe Screen's on the inside. The two of them together as they go round that first turn. Kelvin Tatum just with a wheel in front as they come off the turn, but Joe Screen's on there. Kelvin Tatum's got away. Now what can Joe do about it? Kelvin Tatum head down as he comes past us. And it's Vince Kinchin and Matt Reed that are battling for third, but all eyes on those front two. Will Joe just sit behind him? Will he have a go psychologically on third? No big final at the end of the day. Well, indeed there is a final, but of course it's the points they score that are added to their points totals to give us the overall winner. Kelvin Tatum knows that. He knows that every race he'll want to get a victory. The last of the second leg rides for the solos. As we look to that second place, suffering problems. Matt Reed is closing quickly as they come to the line. Joe Screen just hangs on to second place. That was very, very tight. So the last of the second leg rides, a win for rider number 1, Kelvin Tatum. That is his second win of the afternoon. In second place, number 17, Joe Screen. In third, number 152, Matt Reed. In fourth, number 8, Vince Kinchin. In fifth, number 77, John Underwood. In sixth, number 19, Mitch Godden. In seventh, number 110, Dave Rumsey. Eighth place, number 11, John Priest. And the winning time, 124.12. 124.12 as we look to the first of the sidecar races for their second ride this afternoon. I'm sorry, I was quickly taken there, but I saw that Dave Steer has appeared from the pit box. I saw Mark Edwards come out. I thought he was taking the ride, but it's Dave Steer, and we're told that it's Simon Beanie that's passengering for him. So Simon Beanie, who normally rides with Lee Ray. So a very experienced passenger steps in for Dave Steer. Oh, away we go. Can't make out who's made the best of the starts. Well, John Hiscock looks to have got to the front. They sort themselves out on that first turn. Richard Thomas is up in second place and chasing after John Halsey as they go into that top turn. And I was looking at John Hiscock and talking about John Halsey as John Hiscock now is battling for that third place with Rob Winterburn. So a scrap developing for third and fourth place. Want to keep the pressure on all the other crews. This of course is the tactics when you're in the first of the heats. Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley a much better ride as they hold second place in front of Rob and Chris Winterburn. In fifth place. Now you might be wondering why he's persevering this afternoon, but of course you shouldn't forget that the British Masters gets carried over year after year, and if you qualify and as we see the checkered flag being put out for John Halsey and Jason Glennie, that's 2 rides and 2 wins for them, exactly on course. Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley get second. Rob Winterburn and Chris Winterburn get third as John Hiscock very smokingly goes over the finish. So race 12 then, the first of the second leg rides for the sidecars. A win for outfit number 13, John Halsey and Jason Glennie. In second place, number 60 is Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. In third place, number 148, Rob and Chris Winterburn. In fourth place, number 184, John Hiscock and Jason Gill. In fifth place, number 17, Dave Steer and Simon Beanie. In sixth place, number 1, Craig Cheatham and Clive Reynolds. The winning time, 132.46. 132.46. But we do have number 15, Ivor Matthews and Simon Wall. They had a second first time out. Alan and John Blewitt, you might remember, had that terrific start and led for so long in that tremendous sidecar heat. They finished up with a third in their first ride. Mick Turrell, number 62, Mick Turrell and Tony Baisby had a second place. Tim Bennett had a fifth, a very disappointing first ride for him, so he'll be wanting to do better this time.
Yeah, we got that. Cheers.
So, to the line they go. Can Alan and John Blewitt get the sort of start they had in their first ride? Away go the tapes. Well, they've certainly made a good one, but Ivor Matthews has made a better one as they go into that first turn. They sort themselves out. Colin Blackbourn has got there in second place. Up there as well. He's in second place, so it means that Colin Blackbourn was in third. But Ivor Matthews and Simon Wall are exactly where they want to be. They're out in front as Tim Bennett chases after them. Colin Blackbourn in third at the moment. Mick Turrell in fourth. Alan and John Blewitt back in fifth place at the moment. Up around that bottom third they go. There are points down on the riders that had wins in that first ride. But if you look to the next heat, they'll know as well that two of those first leg winners do come together in the next heat. So they would want to keep the pressure on, get a win here in their second ride. A much better ride this time, they sit in second place. The order has stayed as it was as they come off that first bend. Colin Blackbourn is getting close to Tim Bennett though as they go into this last lap. They close up on that bottom turn. Mick Turrell is Ivor Matthews and Simon Wall have done exactly what they wanted to do this time. They take the win. Tim Bennett does hang on to second. Colin Blackbourn in third and Mick Turrell in fourth. Then, the first win this afternoon for outfit number 15, Ivor Matthews and Simon Wall. In second place, number 12, Tim Bennett and Steve Hargreaves. In third place, number 25, Colin Blackbourn and Carl Blythe. In fourth place, number 62, Mick Turrell and Tony Baisby. In fifth place, number 3, Alan and John Blewitt. In sixth place, number 71, Sean Conway Baker and Shane Woodley. The winning time, 1:33.08. 1:33.08. 24, that is. And number 23, Gary Jackson, also had a win first time out. We see both of them go in this one. Number 93, Andy Simons goes with them. They ended up with a fifth, but they were scrapping for the lead before the race was rerun. Number 74, Duncan Tolhurst. He ended up getting a second place. Number 11, Kenny Hammill had a third. Number 87, Rob Bradley had a fourth. So as they come to the start line, interesting perhaps that we've got Rob Wilson just on the inside of Gary Jackson. Sometimes they can help each other along. Duncan Tolhurst on this outside. We've seen some good starts from these outside gates. The revs go up, we look for the tapes to go, away they go. Gary Jackson's made a terrific start. Well, he really did jump off that start line and he's got himself into the front. Well, Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh have got away. Rob Bradley on the inside, Rob Wilson on the outside. Rob Wilson has got the lead on Rob Bradley now as he goes into that bottom turn. He's now going to try and make sure Gary Jackson doesn't get too far away. Rob Wilson will start to close now. Andy Simons has started to work his way through. He's looking for fourth place around the outside of Kenny Hammill. But Rob Wilson certainly has closed the gap on Gary Jackson. Now can he go all the way? Pushes him hard into that bottom turn now. He looked a little bit quicker up the back straight. Goes slow, and indeed Rob Wilson has got close to him, so the two of them now come past me very close together. Rob Bradley and Ann Holmes still holding that third place, and I wonder as they go into the last lap, will there be a challenge for the lead? He goes very wide into the bend, which means he should be able to cut the corner off coming out of the bend, but as he tries to do that, Gary Jackson takes the win, Rob Wilson gets second, Rob Bradley gets third, and Kenny Hammill in fourth. Of the second leg rides, a win for rounder number 23, that is of course Gary Jackson and passenger Carl Pugh. In second place number 24, Rob Wilson and Tony Miles. In third place number 87, Rob Bradley and Ann Holmes. Fourth place number 11, Kenny Hammill and John Richards. Fifth place number 93, Andy Simons and Sean Yates. Sixth place number 74, Duncan Tolhurst and Colin Hill. 1:33 exactly was the winning time, 1:33 exactly, as we now go over the pages. A page further we go, and at page 16 sees the start of the third leg rides. 2 wins for Steve Schofield, Scott Nicholls and Kelvin Tatum. They get underway, there's problems on the start for Simon Davey. Oh, Joe Screen gets his nose in front as they go into that first turn, but Matt Reed, the youngster, is there with him, and Matt Reed makes it challenge. Matt Reed still there in second place. It's all changing for third. Paul Fry having to work for that third spot now. Indeed, looks to have been Joe Screen holds the lead. Paul Fry in second. Jason Handley in third. Ricky Scarborough in fourth. Jason Handley looks to be having a go at Paul Fry. There could be a change in that second place. One more lap to go. And still the battle rages for this second place. Jason Handley looks for the inside. Paul Fry is forced to stay wide. Oh, they're together as they come off that top turn. A terrific scrap between these two. It gets gone wide. And Joe Screen takes the win. Who's going to get this second? It's very, very close. Well, that's certainly one for the line judge. Very, very close indeed for second. Third leg rides. A win for rider number 17, Joe Screen. In second place, number 95, that's Jason Handley. Very, very tight on the line, but he just got it. In third place, number 55, Paul Fry. In fourth place, number 18, Ricky Scarborough. In fifth place, number 33, Simon Davey. In sixth place, number 110, Dave Rumsey. And in seventh place, number 22, Tony Stark. 125.66 was the winning time, 125.66. Race 16, and again we see none of the leaders of the competition. We've got to wait until races 17 and 18 before we see them. Points. And away we go. Problems for John Jeffries on the line. Well, indeed, they're expecting to see a red flag. Blackbourn will be disappointed he's leading as they come around that bottom turn. Indeed, all the riders do slow down as the paramedic comes across onto the race circuit. So, Mitch Godden was the rider that was challenging Phil Ashcroft before the race was stopped. up into that first turn. Mitch Godden's made a good start. He gets to the lead as they come round that first bend. Oh, Mitch Godden it is that leads down that back straight. Look at that. He's certainly going pretty, puts it down in that bottom bend. Oh, I'm sure that second rider that went down did so to avoid Phil Ashcroft. But as they go into the top turn, Glen Phillips is challenging Mitch Godden as they come around that top turn. Oh, Phil Ashcroft is up and going again. While we stay with the front of the race, it is Mitch Godden and Glen Phillips that are battling out. Trevor Banks can only watch from behind at the moment. He sits in third place. Glen Phillips has had those three away from the rest of the field as they go into the last lap. It is Mitch Godden, Glen Phillips and Trevor Banks. Oh, Glen again goes very, very tight on that top turn. Trevor Banks now starting to make a show as well. He might be making a challenge, making 3 seconds in a row. Glen Phillips to the much wider line. Trevor Banks has gone very, very wide. It's going to be close as they come to the line. The checker flag goes. And again, it was very, very close on the line. His first this afternoon for rider number 19, Mitch Godden. In second place, number 12, Trevor Banks. In third, number 42, Glen Phillips. In fourth, number 71, Darren Pugh. In fifth, number 26, that's our reserve, Mark Giles. In sixth place, number 83, Phil Ashcroft. And the winning time, 128.95. 128.95. So as we go to race 17, a chance to see in action once again. Number 1, Kelvin Tatum. Number 86, Paul Hurry. They're both out there. Made a terrific start. Well, Paul Hurry has certainly got the lead as they go into that first turn. Kelvin Tatum is back in third, but now moves himself through into second. So Paul Hurry away down the back. So quick into that bottom turn. Paul Hurry must have wondered where he was coming from. But Paul comes back at him. Oh, Paul Hurry comes back at him, but Kelvin Tatum again goes for the inside. Great scrap between these two as Paul Hurry comes back at him on the inside. Oh, terrific race between these two. Paul Hurry tries to come back underneath. We've seen this toing and froing, and Paul Hurry just gets the lead. Kelvin swaps again and goes for the inside. Paul Hurry comes back in, but this time on the outside. So Paul Hurry stays wide this time. Paul Hurry goes wide on Kelvin Tatum. Tries to get round the outside. Kelvin is looking for him. He'll be the master of the line into the top bend. Paul Hurry tries to stay tight to him. Closes up on the exit of the bend, but Kelvin Tatum looks to have the bit between his feet now. Kelvin Tatum is going to make it 3 out of 3. Tremendous effort from Paul Hurry. Number 8, Vince Kinchin gets third place. Number 10, Tony Atkin in fourth. And 50, Phil Ambrose in fifth. But what a tremendous effort from Paul Hurry. Terrific racing. I can hear the applause as they go back to the pits, but I think you agree that was absolutely first-class racing. A win, very important again for Kelvin Tatum. He keeps the pressure on. He takes the win, rider number 1. In second place, number 86 is Paul Hurry. In third place, number 8, Vince Kinchin. In fourth place, number 10, Tony Atkin. In fifth place, number 50, Phil Ambrose. In sixth place, number 23, that's Wayne Barrett. And 7th place, number 21, Tommy Palmer. 8th place, number 7, Mark Rogers. The winning time, 124.61. 124.61. Oh, we move to race 18 and we see Scott Nicholls and Steve Schofield, both 2 rides and 2 wins. A head-to-head between those two. Has made a terrific start. Jeremy Doncaster on the inside. We're looking for Scott Nicholls. He's in 3rd at the moment, but it is Steve Schofield has got away. Jeremy Doncaster looking to get himself up into 2nd. Oh, that's a terrific bottom turn from Scott Nicholls. He now chases after Steve Schofield. Steve now must know that he's there. He's got the work to do to keep him out as he goes down the back straight. Remember, both these riders have not been beaten so far. Off that bottom turn they come, both of them head down, trying to get maximum grip up this finishing straight. Oh, Scott Nicholls has certainly tried something different. He's gone for a very wide line on that top turn. Now it might give him a bit more speed down the back straight. Doncaster looks to have lost out on that 3rd place, but Scott Nicholls has not given up on this lead yet. Steve Schofield may still have the lead, but Scott Nicholls again is going to the outside, and Scott Nicholls is all the way around the outside. Tremendous top turn from Scott. On the fast lap, he's got away with it. He comes towards the line. It's Scott Nicholls that's going to take the win. Steve Schofield in 2nd, John Underwood in 3rd, and Jeremy Doncaster in 4th. Well, what a tremendous rider Scott Nicholls is proving himself to be. He experimented by going wide on that 3rd lap. He then indeed done exactly that on the 4th and got the win.
John Underwood. In 4th place, number 6, Jeremy Doncaster. In 5th place, number 34, Steve Bishop. In 6th place, number 170, Mark Taylor. In 7th place, number 2, Daniel Winston. And 8th place, number 11, John Priest. 124.65 was the winning time, 124.65.
So we now turn our attention to the sidecar competition once again. We start the 3rd leg rides for the sidecar crews. Remind you the point situation at the moment. John Halsey, Jason Glennie on maximum 14 points. They go in race 21. 23, Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh, they go in race 20. In race 19, we've got that on the start line already. Keep your eye on number 15, Ivor Matthews and Simon Wall. They're on 12 points from 2 rides. As they get underway, they've made the best of the starts. Richard Thomas is on the inside. As they all close up in that first bend, it is Ivor Matthews. Can't bend. Oh, Andy Summers looks to be having a go to get 2nd. Richard Thomas watching closely. If he leaves a gap while he's trying to get that 2nd, he'll take 3rd away from him certainly. But Ivor Matthews and Simon Wall. Richard Thomas certainly looks as if he wants it. Goes round the outside. Gets up into 3rd as now you can see Duncan Tolhurst had tried to keep it tight. Well, in fact, as I said, Richard Thomas had tried to make a place. Colin Blackbourn nearly came through when he went very, very wide on that top bend. With Duncan Tolhurst chasing after them. And
Andy Simon still holding third, Richard Thomas still in fourth. One more lap to go then in this, the start of the third leg rides. Three rides as they come towards the checkered flag. It's a comfortable win for Ivor Matthews and Simon Wall. Duncan Tolhurst and Colin Hill get second. Andy Simon's in third and Richard Thomas in fourth. Number 15, that's maximum points to Ivor Matthews and Simon Wall. In second place, number 74, Duncan Tolhurst and Colin Hill. In third place, number 93, Andy Simons and Sean Yates. In fourth place, number 60, Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. In fifth place, number 25, Colin Blackbourn and Carl Blythe. And in sixth place, number 11, Kenny Hammill and John Richards. 1:34.24 was the winning time, 1:34.24. So as Ivor Matthews disappears into the pits, he can now watch to see what happens in race 20, because one of the maximum point riders, number 23, Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh, they go in this one. We saw Tim Bennett have a much quicker ride in his second ride. Can he be the spoiler? Oh, Gary Jackson trying to anticipate the start. Starter not having any of it, doesn't want anybody touching those tapes. Lets them go this time. Oh, it looks as if Gary Jackson has made it. He dives into that first turn. That was a good start. I wondered by anticipating it first. Tim Bennett holds it on the inside. Gary Jackson's still got the lead. Rob Winterburn will try and come through on the inside of Mick Turrell. But at the moment he's got to hold fourth place and watch to see where Mick Turrell goes as they dive into this bottom turn. Winterburn has come up into third place. Mick Turrell now under pressure from Craig Cheatham. But the all-important place is out in front. That's maximum 7 points. As Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh look to keep the pressure on. Two of them at the moment, Rob and Chris Winterburn battling in third. Mick Turrell hasn't given up the cause though, as indeed Craig Cheatham comes through on the inside of them. Mick Turrell does extremely well to hang on to it. Oh, gets the outfit back in line. Three rides for the crew of Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh. They come to the checkered flag and indeed they take it. 10 minutes, Steve Hargreaves gets second. Rob Wynn, Chris Winterburn take third. Craig Cheatham and Clive Reynolds in fourth. For outfit number 23, that's Gary Jackson and Carl Pugh. They get maximum points from all three rides. In second place, number 12, Tim Bennett and Steve Hargreaves. In third, number 148, Rob and Chris Winterburn. In fourth place, number 1, Craig Cheatham and Clive Reynolds. In fifth place, number 17, Dave Steer and Simon Beanie. In sixth place, number 62, Mick Turrell and Tony Baisby. 1:33.42 is the winning time, 1:33.42.